Hey, welcome back to Ping Pong Flix. My name is Chris Wong, and really one big news dropped today, and it's all I'm going to talk about today. It is super hot, so you'll be seeing me sweating. I'm not tearing. I'm sweating my butt off. It's so humid in this state. Even my dog's panting. Okay, so the biggest news today is that Deadline has an exclusive article informing us that Ava DuVernay is to direct Jack Kirby comic creation, The New Gods, for Warner Brothers DC. Yeah, The New Gods. No, we're not going to do another Joker movie. We're not going to do another Harley Quinn movie. It's not going to be Suicide Squad 3. We're going to kind of go away from the Batman universe that DC has always tried to put their hands in, and actually going to the cosmos, galaxy, writing The New Gods. Okay, and you know, people are going to say, oh my god, this is DC's answer to the Guardians of the Galaxy, just like how they called Green Lantern Corp, you know, just like how they called Suicide Squad. I'm like, come on, just enough. After making history as the first woman of color to helm a $100 million plus live action film in A Wrinkle in Time, Ava DuVernay will continue to play in the event film sandbox. She's closing a deal with Warner Brothers and DC to direct a big budget screen adaptation of The New Gods, the creation of revered comic book impresario Jack Kirby. The studio has set Cario Salem Chasing Mavericks as the writer. He'll craft the narrative and work closely with DuVernay. This will be another $100 million plus film for DuVernay, who has taken quite a leap in scale since her breakout film Selma. She unveiled a New Gods connection late last year when she responded to a question on social media on who her favorite superhero is. Big Barda, many reasons, was her reply. Big Barda is one of the New Gods and the wife of Mr. Miracle, also a Kirby creation. This is a bold move for Warner Brothers DC, and not just because this is the second superhero franchise they've handed to a female director after Patty Jenkins turned Wonder Woman into a crowd-pleasing blockbuster and is working on the sequel with Gal Gadot. Unlike recent DC fare, this is a freestanding world created and designed by Kirby back in 1971, not long after the prolific comic legend had exited Marvel. There is no connection to the other DC worlds being exploited for film right now by Warner Brothers, where studio boss Toby Emmerich and his newly installed DC production president Walter Hamada are moving forward with a new approach to filmmakers on their DC-based fare. The New Gods was the genesis of the Uber villain Darkseid, also called Fourth World. The Kirby creation debuted in a trilogy of related comics written and drawn by Kirby that were published in the very early 1970s. New Gods, Forever People, and Mr. Miracle. The New Gods came into existence after the world of the gods of classic mythology were destroyed during Ragnarok. The deities inhabit two planets. One is New Genesis, a lush paradise, and the other Apocalypse, which sounds like Dante's version of hell. War ensues. There's a rich universe of extraordinary characters for DuVernay to play with here. This will be a fun one to follow. Okay, so, sorry, like I said, I'm sweating here. It's very humid. Very interesting indeed. So, if you don't know, Jack Kirby exited Marvel. He came to DC to do New Gods, and it had Darkseid and everybody. So, that's so interesting because, you know, Ava DuVernay was actually originally going to do Black Panther, and then she's got out of that creative differences, and now it's over to DC to do a DC project. And so it's kind of interesting how that kind of just works out in those types of ways. Kind of like how Patty Jenkins was going to do Thor Dark World, left that, came on here to do Wonder Woman. So it's kind of interesting how that kind of works out in those kind of, it's like destiny coming back around. You know, it's like they did Thor Ragnarok. We're gonna do New Gods in this one. So we already seen some old gods. We've seen that in the, well, some of the Wonder Woman, the beginning of Wonder Woman, and the in the little part in Justice League, which I really thought should have been the opening of Justice League. But anyway, so we've seen some of that in both cases, right? And then you can go. It's so much lore in that matter. It's such a different part of the world, and they're saying it's not going to be part of the DC Extended Universe, but that seems highly likely because it's in a new world. It's like going out. It's into the cosmos. It's kind of like how Guardians of the. Okay, I know I'm making a Marvel reference, but in terms of comic book movies, okay, that Guardians of the Galaxy is out here, and Captain America and Iron Man are down here, so they're not really connected in any way. But there is one connection, and that is Thanos. And so this is going to be the dark side part of that deal, right? And you're going to think, well, they're copying Marvel. No, well. The cool thing about this, which I hope it's actually happening if it's adapted well enough, is that instead of not knowing who Thanos is, we're going to actually learn who Darkseid is. And maybe the birth of Darkseid, along with these other cool characters, Big Barda, Mr. Miracle, and oh man, there's just Granny Goodness, Highfather, and little baby Darkseid. It's so rich and colorful. And I mean colorful in a good way, not just trying to make it cartoony and colorful. I mean, it's very colorful comic. It's very cosmic, and it's really out there. Hopefully we don't do too much of the comedic elements of it. I want it to be dark and serious. This is gods, gods, right? And I hope we get to see some really epic stuff. This is like Lord of the Rings type material. It's just huge and great, and actually very surprising to see Warner Brothers step into this direction. I mean, at first I'm like, whoa, new gods? What is this slate? I thought we're going to concentrate on the core heroes. So I think they are. This is going to take a lot of time to put together and plan it out accurately so that it makes sense. It's huge. It makes it much more epic in scale. So I don't think this is going to be one of the first few slates of this certain phase or whatever. It's going to be down the line, probably towards after Green Lantern Corps. Like it was reported earlier that they are trying to get the core characters out there. You got Superman. You got, I hope Superman. Where's my Superman sequel? The Batman, Wonder Woman 2. We've got Aquaman, Shazam, Flash. Hopefully some Cyborg. So we're taking care of the core characters first before even getting into this type of stuff. But this is a great way to kind of introduce us to the big baddie for whatever phase the DC is going to be in when they get Darkseid to fight the Justice League members. So in a way, they're not doing the Marvel route. Marvel just says Thanos, and we really only know about Thanos in between the movies and whatever we can hear from Nebula. And so this is a little bit cooler in a sense because you're going to get a whole movie about him, right? Whole movie about him and everybody else in the New Gods, and it just expands the universe that way. So when it gets to when we're fighting him, it makes a lot more sense in a way. So I think that's kind of cool, and it's very different. It's more compelling and more exciting than hearing Batgirl, for instance, or like I said, Joker in a Harley movie. I think the direction they're going in is very interesting, and it makes me wonder when along the line did they decide Ava DuVernay to make this movie. It didn't just happen like that. There's got to be in talks. Like I remember on social media where she said Big Barda, many reasons, and I really never thought about it, and maybe some people did, but at that time, that was still early. That was really early on, probably before Wrinkle in Time came out, and we all know the bad reception that Wrinkle in Time is getting. I haven't watched it. I'm going to take it upon myself to watch it, like how I was going to take myself to watch Game Night because I want to know and the feel of these new directors that are heading these large projects. Flashpoint's a large project. New Gods is a large project. I would like to, before saying if they're right for I gotta see their work. So I'm really interested to see the A Wrinkle in Time, although I've heard it not very good. I haven't watched Selma either. I don't think I've watched any of Ava DuVernay's movies. And, people tweet out that look what James Gunn had made a crappy movie, the Russo brothers had made a crappy movie, and everybody makes a crappy movie once in a while, so we should put some faith in it. But it's very interesting in the timing of this, and where Wrinkle in Time is not doing so well, and if it did well, if it was a great movie, this timing would be even better. Say, oh, Ava DuVernay, but there are people who out there who have watched Wrinkle in Time, and I could understandably say that they don't like Wrinkle in Time, so they're kind of feeling kind of iffy about her doing New Gods. But I'm concentrating on the fact that they are going to make a New Gods movie, and that is just amazing and incredible. Like, wow. Like, I'm still like, how is that going to look like? How incredible is that going to look like, and how they're going to make it work? So I'm really interested to see what's happening with there. And like I said, I don't know when she came on. Like, what is that the reason why they cut Darkseid out of the Justice League movie? I mean, I had kind of I kind of thought that when Zack Snyder was going to do Darkseid, and maybe for Part 2, Justice League Part 2, it could have been that Warner Brothers saying, we want an expanded universe. We cannot just let out all our large characters out yet. Like, he really had a beginning to an end to this little universe. He was going to make, like, it was probably going to be like Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight Rises, and then that's it, and then we just reboot it again. But it looks like Warner Brothers had a different idea in mind. That's why they said, cut out Darkseid. We're going to save him for this other, where we're going to make him a little bit farther down the line. We're going to have our little Infinity War. And I know what you're saying is like, oh no, we're copying Marvel again. Yeah, I mean, if copying Marvel means we're going to have a big bad and an arc down the line, then yes, I agree with you. And the way they're introducing this big bad is totally different than how they introduced Thanos, though. We don't know much about Thanos. I talked to my friend about Thanos. He's read everything about him, and he says, "Oh man, it's crazy. He's raped and killed. He has so many kids. He's killed his own kids." And I'm like, "Whoa! Like, I didn't know that about Thanos. Okay, he's no PG character." So that's interesting, but we'll get to see not the rape and kill, but like we'll get to see some of that stuff, maybe whether it's the New 52 way, where that's how Darkseid gets all his powers by killing off the old gods, or we're gonna have it totally different, him and his brother or something. I don't know yet, but it's absolutely interesting to go that route. It's kind of reminds me of how they're doing Black Adam, where they're gonna have a own Black Adam movie before he becomes a villain of a superhero movie. Although they're going Shazam first, I don't know if Black Adam shows up at the end. But then Black Adam's also going to be the weapon in Suicide Squad 2. Very confusing. So I don't know what the slate is. The slate is very confusing. This San Diego Comic-Con, whenever this new slate is going to show up, if they're even going to show a slate, is going to be very, very interesting. I hope to see Superman in there somewhere along the line. And then someone actually said, Stuart Renshaw, he said, is Superman going to appear in New Gods? And I'm like, well, I don't think so. I think it's not going to. But wouldn't it be cool to have the little tease in there where someone's being brought down by Darkseid, and he has a premonition or something, something along that lines, where it's like there is only one being that can stop you, and it's like Superman, yeah. A Kryptonian, I hear, or something, I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. But, that's just me trying to put Superman in every single damn movie. Anyway, what do you guys think about Ava DuVernay directing New Gods, or just having a New Gods movie in general? What do you think about that? That is certainly out of left field for me. Something that's totally out there, but I gotta see how that's gonna look, because it's gonna be artistically, visually fantastic, hopefully. And someone suggested, Nana Adu, I think, suggested maybe Zack Snyder should come back. I'm saying, absolutely, sure. If they can bring him back on as like an advisory role on how to make the action scenes, the visual action pieces, then yes, take him on. Just like how Patty Jenkins asked him, how do I make these action scenes look cool? Well, I'll show you how. So I hope they all work together and all about that. and I hope it works well. I am looking forward to watching Ava DuVernay's movies just to see how she directs. I've never seen any of her movies, so I have no say in how good or bad she will be. At least an inkling of idea, and even though she's bad in those movies, maybe this movie is for her. Like I said, Game Night, I need to watch Game Night, but someone said, well, maybe they're not actually good at comedy, and they're actually excel in a serious movie, you know, how they just flip in a way. So flip genres, and maybe they're better at it. So I don't know. Let's see what's going on with that, but interested to see what your thoughts are on that. All right, guys. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.